It was painful to go to the Huddersfield market those days. It was said that families had not twopence a head to live on each day. Bad trade had tired the staunchest of us. The war still dragged on, now a victory, now a defeat, and meanwhile the banks were breaking, credit destroyed, old firms failing. The poor were cursing their masters in their hearts and thinking their sufferings lay at their masters' doors. Now I can't think such a time was fitting to bring in machinery. But Mr. Cartwright of Rawfolds and Mr. Horsefall of Ottywell's Mill and some others seemed callous to the sufferings around them. They were both men impatient of obstacles. They pooh-poohed those who counselled delay. It was that month of February that we heard the first news of any violence in the neighbourhood. Late of a Saturday night, a number of men with their faces blackened and their dress disguised, some wearing women's gowns and other strange hood gear, broke into the dressing shop of Mr. Joseph Hurst of Marsh and destroyed the dressing frames, the shears and other furniture of a gig mill. Then came the soldiers, the Scots Greys and the 2nd Dragoon Guards. They were billeted at various hostelries around the town, and soon there was a scandal at their carrying on. A drinking, swearing lot of men, a terror to decent girls, reeling and singing in the streets with the loose women of the town, paying respects to no one, not even their own officers, except when on patrol. Then too did the head constable of Huddersfield call upon every man over 17 and under 50 to enrol themselves as special constables. For by this time the name Luddite had crept into the district. How? I know not. I wanted to talk to my cousin George about these matters, but got no chance. So I set off alone to walk to Slowett over Crossland Moor. And near the brig, I came across Soldier Jack with a poke slung over his shoulder.
Will you accompany me to the Brow? It'll not be long, for it's not exactly a wedding I'm bound to. It's Tom Sykes I'm bound to see, a decent body, but with an ailing wife and a large family. I'm bound to comfort Tom Sykes with a bit of philosophy.
It's that philosophy you got in your poke, Jack. It seems like weighty matter.
No, it's a few crumbs of nonsense for Tom. But here we are at Tom's now.
It was a low, narrow house on the lower brow, overlooking the river. It was bare of furniture, save a low rocking chair by an empty fire grate, and a cradle. A shock-headed man sat there, hushing a wailing child. He'd not shaved for weeks, and his cheekbones stood out above his shrunken cheeks. He was trying to feed the ailing child with some watery milk. Another child, clad only in a smock, lay across a litter of sacks in the corner, and under these sacks lay a something. My heart stood still. You could see the outlines of a figure. Jack couldn't see this.
Where's your missus, Tom? I brought thee summat. See, here's the makings of a rare brew of tea. But what are you staring at? Where is your missus?
She's there, in corner, Jack. You needn't fear to waken her. She sleeps very sound. Parson says she's gone where there's neither hunger nor sorrow. But I reckon rich folk have spoken for them parts. The poor will be crowded out, same as they are here.
I had no comfort for the man. I slipped away, only minding to pass a coin or two to Soldier Jack. Light a fire and fetch a woman, I whispered as I left. The scene of which just now I had been witness filled me with an intense sorrow for the suffering I knew to be rife around us. But I shrunk from violence of any kind and from conflict with the law, of which I had a wholesome dread. I am not made of the stuff of heroes and martyrs. When I got home, Mary was waiting for me at the door with a note delivered by an unknown messenger. I could see it was in George Mellor's handwriting. Oh, it was brief enough. Meet me on Thursday at 9 at the inn at Buckstones. George. Now, the inn at Buckstone stands alone on the road from Out Lane to Manchester. All around were desolate reaches of moorland. There were no neighbours to make custom for the inn, and the coach never stopped there. I was there punctual to my time. The night was pitch dark with neither moon nor stars to light the road. The outer door was opened from within by George Mellor.
You're in time, Ben. I knew they wouldn't fail us.
Who's us?
They'll know soon enough. They're waiting for us in the room upstairs, but come into the snug and have a glass of ale. They looks breathless and flustered, as if they'd seen a boggart on road. There's a chap there I want thee to know. He's a better scholar than thee or me, Ben. I warrant thee'll like him when they knows him. They call him John Booth, the parson stood at Lowmore.
Is he one of you?
As close as heft at blade.
I breathed a sigh of relief at this, for I'd seen him many a time and heard much of his great learning and sweet temper. His father was not only a vicar at Lowmore, but a cropper to boot. He was a youth of no more than 21. His eye was dark and melancholy, and his face bare of beard. He had a low, soft voice and a sweet, winning, caressing way about him.
I'm pleased to see you, Mr. Bamforth. Any friend of George Mellor is thrice welcome. George, go and tell our friends to receive a new member. Set all in order while I talk to your cousin. Are you willing to strike a blow for the poor and oppressed?
I don't know about striking blows. I'm here because I said I'd be here. But what I, or you, or George can do to aid the poor passes my wit.
We can try at least the force of union, one step at a time. But come and join our friends.
The long, low chamber into which we now entered was in darkness, save for the light of two small lanterns placed on a narrow table that ran down the centre of the room. At the head of the table was an armchair of ancient oak, and in the centre of the table was a human skull. In the chair sat one whom I sensed was my cousin George, on his left a Bible and on his right a document. The room was close packed with masked men in working dress who rose as Booth led me to the end of the long table.
Number 20. I call on you to explain to this candidate the principles of our order.
We are banded together to assert the rights of labour, to resist the cruelty of capital. We aim to educate the toilers to a sense of their just rights, and if need be, the removal of those mechanic rivals by which callous and heartless employers are bent on supplanting the labour of our hands. This is only a last resort, all other means exhausted.
Benjamin Bamforth, are you willing to ally yourself with us and aid us in our cause?
That I will.
Then place before him the book. Place your hands, Brother Bamforth, on the Bible and fix your eyes on this skull. Repeat after me the words of our oath.
I will do. I, Benjamin Bamforth, do declare and solemnly swear that I will never reveal to any persons under the canopy of heaven the names of these persons who comprise this secret committee, or anything else that might lead to discovery of the same, on penalty of my name and character being blotted out of existence. Furthermore, I will punish by death any traitor who should rise up against us. So help me God. I will now kiss the book.
Brethren, unmask now and let our brother know who we are.
I looked around. There were many I did not know, but some I knew. Soldier Jack was one, and William Thorpe, Ben Walker and William Smith, who worked at my uncle's mill. Ben Walker I knew as Buck Walker's son. Ben of Bucks was my age, dark-haired and sallow with deep-set eyes and a sly, fawning manner. He was attentive, in a quiet way, to Mary, who said he had a pasty face and cold, damp hands like a fishtail. I didn't care for him greatly. I marvelled at Soldier Jack, yet gathered courage from his presence there.
There are signs in our order, Brother Bamforth, which I will now communicate to thee. First, the right hand passed around the neck signifies, are you a lud? They must reply with 2 fingers placed on the chin thus. Our password to our meeting is work, win. Now take your seats for business. Are there any reports?
Enoch Taylor has ordered 6 men to make frames as fast as he can. Horsfall is putting them into Ottywells as quickly as they're made, and the frame can do the work of 4 men. It's ruination, stark ruination, and me with 5 children.
There's an offer tale. Horsfall's fair well with joy. He says he'll fight Napoleon with a finishing frame. He said to magistrates and a pigeon-livered lot. He said he'd have ridden up to saddle girth into blood of the lods before he'd have been embarked all this way.
Shame on him!
Shame on him! Shame on him!
Reports have come from Liversedge that Cartwright of Rawfolds has ordered a set of machines too. Any brother got aught to say about Cartwright and Horsfall?
I move they be warned. Tell them we mean business. I'm sick of letter writing. They laugh at our letters.
Let them laugh. They'll laugh at the wrong side of their mouths. I thought we'd done with them. But let's have a drink, lads. Let's have some ale and a song.
So the men settled themselves for a spree and a fuddle. Soldier Jack sang a rousing Luddite song, which was chorused with gusto by the company. It was plain to see they all had high hopes from great Enoch, as the Ludds called the hammer used in machine smashing, after Enoch Taylor of Marsden. Later that night, we all turned out in a field at the back of the buck. Under the ghostly light of a watery moon, Soldier Jack put us through our drill. 1 or 2 had muskets. A few had pikes. He complained to me as we walked back to Lower Home later.
Poor shiftless lot. But what can you expect from a lot of croppers?
Why, what would you expect to make of them, Jack?
No, just now. But then they must do something. There must be action sooner or later. Do you think it's generals who win battles, lad? No, it's sergeants and corporals. Now, George Miller is a lad with fire enough for 6 but it'll be Soldier Jack they'll look to when the bullets are whizzing over their heads.
But surely, Jack, there'll be no whizzing of bullets.
Oh, won't there? Aye, that and worse. Do you know that the Horsefalls of Ottywells has got soldiers billeted in the town? They're patrolling the district every night. If we go to Ottywells, there'll be a warm welcome for us.
But why are you in it, Jack? You're neither a cropper nor son of a cropper.
Well, say I'm in it for you and for the sport, and 'cause it's in my nature. You'll never know the savage joy of battle. It's the wine of life. And so, good night, and wipe that mud off their feet afore that saucy Mary of yours will be asking you questions.
The last day of March of that year, 1812, was a big day for me. I came of age. I was tall above the common, though even then I had not come into my full stature. Now, on this birthday, naught would content my mother but that we should have a tea drinking. So I bid my friends come, George, of course, and a handsomer, brighter lad never set foot in Lower Home, all fun and laughter with a jest for everyone. He brought with him Ben Walker, whom I made welcome as I would have welcomed the evil one himself, and I liked Ben Walker as little. From the very first I misdoubted that man. I disliked his toad's hands, his shifty eye, his low speech. He fell to praising Mary and spoke of her good looks, letting his eye dwell upon her features with a look so gross that Mary coloured red with wrath. I had asked too John Booth and his sister